everyone. Today we're going to keep working on our 300 peck method, loose leash walking. So I just want to keep showing you a little bit more, what we can do with our dogs if they're having a hard time paying attention. Albie. So instead of just starting off with with just taking steps without having any contact with my dog, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a treat down by her nose as I take that step. So it looks almost like a heel. So I take one step, yes, good girl. She doesn't pull, she gets a treat. So you can see with Albie, she's really attentive. Remember, she's a little bit older. She's, oh my goodness, she's gonna be 10. So she is older, and so she doesn't have that puppy mentality or that teenage mentality of what's going on everywhere else. She's a little bit more able to focus, but she also has more of a learning history than a younger dog does with this particular exercise. So again, if she doesn't pull, I'm going to add one step to what I just did. In this case, it's 2 steps. So I take 1, 2, yes, and reward her. Very nice. She was successful, so I'm going to get her back on my left side. I'm going to do the same thing, but have 3 steps. Take 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Yes, very nice. Mark and reward when she's successful. Get her back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, very nice. Now I can do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, good job. It doesn't matter where you go. You can walk a straight line, you cannot. So after she's successful and she has a lot of successful repetitions with the treat in front of her nose, that's when I'm going to start to fade out the lure. So now let's try again to see if we can do the same exercise we did before, where we're not luring her with the treat, and see if she's more successful. 1 step, yes, very nice. Instantly you can see she's much more focused. 1, 2, yes, good job. She's pretty much in a perfect heel position at this point. Again, all I need for my dog when we're loose leash walking is that they're slack in the leash. I don't care if my dog is out in front. I don't care if they're behind, out to the side. What I need from them is to not be putting tension in the leash. And that's something that we need to feel. It's not something that we want to pay attention to the look of the leash. I know we typically want this really nice slack leash where it has this J shape, but what I'm really looking for is the feel. Do I feel tension in the leash? Do I not feel tension in the leash? If you think about it from the dog's perspective, the dog is not looking at how the leash appears. What they're doing is they're feeling tension in the leash when they pull or when they back up, and they're not pulling. So let's try again. Albie. All right, so I get her at my side. Take 1 step. Yes. Very nice. 1, 2. Yes. Very nice. So I'm always rewarding down by my left side because that's where I want her to stay. You notice she kind of stays stacked there. Because that's where the treat is. So I want to make sure, again, that I'm rewarding right by my side. So I'm not rewarding out here, I'm not rewarding on my right, because if I reward on my right, then she'll end up crossing in front of me as opposed to staying on that left side. It's okay if she ends up going in front or behind a little bit, but she's always coming back to the left side in order to get the treat. She doesn't have to be there to earn the treat, but she always has to be there to get the treat. Ready? Thank you. Yes, good job. So if your dog is having a bit of a tough time, you can start off by luring. So treat goes down right by the dog's nose. I take 1 step. Yes, reward for not pulling. A lot of young dogs, again, will just kind of ignore the treat and shoot off. That's okay. And so all I do is I get them back and I start again. If they keep having the same problem, then what I'm probably going to do is adjust my environment. It might mean that I need to take it in the backyard. I might need to work in the house first, because as we can see, there's lots of distractions out here. I want to work somewhere where I know the dog is going to be successful. So then I can start 2 steps. 1, 2, yes, good job. And then 3. You can see I'm always bringing her back to my left side. I'm not just stepping into her and waiting for her to fail. 1, 2, 3. Yes, good job. Now I can try my 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, good job. Once I get to 5 or 6 steps, then I can try without the treat again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, good job. I've gotten to 5, so let's try without the treat. 1, yes, very nice. Notice, because I've adjusted my criteria, there's no treat in front of her nose, there's no luring. Now I'm going back to the very beginning again. 1, 2, yes, very nice. Again, she's sitting for me, she does not have to. Okay. Get her back on my left side. Now I'm at 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, yes. Very nice. Let's try 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, very nice. So you can see how I keep doing this, and what I end up doing is I fade out the treats gradually and periodically, but I know that I'm using them when my dog needs them. And it's very easy to tell when my dog needs the treats or they need to adjust the criteria versus when they don't, because again, all I have to do is ask myself that question, did my dog meet criteria? And again, my criteria is my dog isn't pulling. Right? All I need is slack in the leash. I'm not looking for them to maintain that perfect heel position just yet. That's a totally separate behavior. All I'm looking for my loose leash walking is that my dog has slack in the leash. That's why it's called loose leash walking. It's not called a heel. Some people do them the same way, but I like to have heel be a very specific behavior that I ask my dog to do when I'm in potentially dangerous situations or a situation where my dog is really going to have a tough time, like walking past a person or another dog. So it's just much more structured. So loose leash walking is not as structured with my dog, and so it tends to be a little bit more relaxed. So if my dog meets criteria, again, I'm just adding a step. If they don't meet criteria, then all I'm doing is going back. So it makes it nice and simple for you guys. You're able to keep track of when you need to progress, when you need to make it easier, and it's very, very simple. The one trap that people tend to fall into is making sure that you're being very honest with yourself and with your dog. And I catch myself doing it too with my guys. If I start to walk and they kind of pull a little bit, I'm like, maybe they just saw a squirrel, they came back, and then, that was it. That was still really nice, right? They probably didn't actually see a squirrel. But I have to make sure I'm very strict, right? No, there was tension in the leash. I felt pulling. So like right now, for example, right? If I was working specifically on an exercise with her, maintaining a stationing position, I wouldn't count that, right? I might say to myself, oh, well, I got distracted walking, but I have to make sure that I'm keeping myself honest and my dog honest, because otherwise I'm building in really sloppy behaviors. So again, just make sure that you're really concise, and then this way the dog is going to start to learn a little bit more quickly, because they're going to have a clear definition of what they are and what they aren't supposed to do. So thank you guys, and I hope to see you guys next time.